Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Legends TV. I'm your announcer, Coole. We got a great show lined up for you today. We got some cats from all the way from Baltimore. They go by the name of the Under the Mat Radio Crew. Featuring NSC, the Gameboy is going to be performing for you live later on today. We also have Oscar from Men on a Mission and Dreamy Mimi of Not Your Mama's radio show. But coming up to the stage right now is somebody who I'm so proud of and so talented and so direct with what she has to say and to who she has to say it to. Coming all the way from the Bronx, performing some joints from her latest LP released just in September, Hieroglyphics in Crayon. Introducing the one, the only, AtLas.
Yep. For those people that say you look taller on TV, I'm not. Peace, peace. My name is AtLas. How y'all doing? So we're gonna, I'm imagining y'all talking back to me through the screen. So we're gonna do a couple of joints off the EP. The EP is called, gotta take a deep breath for this one, Pseudo-Mythological Celestial Music, Abstracts and Expressions. And also, obviously, we gotta do a joint or two off of the album. It's a long time coming, Hieroglyphics in Crayon, which is available for your purchase at Polaris.com and also on iTunes. So, let's just do it. As Mr. Coole mentioned, I am from the Bronx. So this is my ode to the place where I was born, where I was raised, where I was nurtured, where I was beat up a time or two, all that. I'm gonna tell you like this. In the Bronx, the place where I rolled my first bike. The Bronx, the place where I fought my first fight. The Bronx, the place where I had my first kiss. The Bronx, I wouldn't trade a minute of it. The Bronx, the place where I rolled my first bike. The Bronx, the place where I fought my first fight. The Bronx, the place where I had my first kiss. The Bronx, I wouldn't trade a minute of it. Now I would be remiss if I didn't reminisce about the place where I grew up and started life as a kid. West 225th is memory filled, where Sal called me Bustle Head before he got killed. And the parks where we played rush games entertained us, rapping in the hallways, hoping to get famous. Rushing from the bus to get home, I suppose, to do my homework and change out my school clothes. And who knows? Maybe have a fight, get a nosebleed, run and tell my mother first, cause everybody knows me and they nosy. Or take a detour through the OP so Auntie Robin won't see while Mooka was my Cody. Mostly did a little dirt and did a little more. We thought we had it all, spending food stamps at the store. Then back to the 7th floor, cause they all had us trained. If the street lights beat us home, then our mothers did the same. In the Bronx, the place where I rolled my first bike. The Bronx, the place if you at home, you can put up your X. The Bronx, the place where I had my first kiss. The Bronx, I wouldn't trade a minute of it. The Bronx, the place where I rolled my first bike. The Bronx, the place where I fought my first fight. The Bronx, the place where shout out to Thinking Kelly on the beat. The Bronx, I wouldn't trade a minute of it. Being black BMX is how I learned to ride a bike. Back and forth between the buildings to stay in my mama's sight. Who knew I'd get it right because the training wheels were broken and I never even noticed cause my attitude was focused. And while most kids were dancing to the words of Kid and Play, I had to clean the house while listening to Marvin Gaye. While the spinners say to learn that love loves no one takes a fool. And Shirley Caesar shouted telling us to hold a mule. And every Easter we would dress in our Sunday's best. And after church we changed clothes in the outfits that match. That was way back when I bust my head on the tub. And Auntie Crystal yelled at us, I told y'all not to run. I must admit I loved it playing dozens with my cousins. We was always up to something but pretending that we wasn't. A young kid with an oh so ready and willing to do what I was told. That's why I'm thankful for my village in the Bronx. Oh, well, thank you kindly. It's always nice to have in-house applause happening. All right, this one is called Leo Ego. I am a Leo, and according to the masses, Leos have egos. So all I need is one mic and a couple dope lyrics. The speaker's loud enough for you to hear it. And I swear that's all it takes for me to crush the competition. I ain't no battle rapper, but I bet you if I did it, then we went lyric for lyric. At first you would revere it, then I'd verbally decapitate your spirit. I live it every day, no need to brag or boast to them. I'm humble, but I guarantee I'm better than the bulk of them. Most of them is acting dope. It's a fact that I'm dope and I'm gathering those who factor and hoping the rest of the road. Not folks that's just fashionable. More concerned with having their clothes or bagging their hoes and stabbing their foes and changing the course of the life of a kid who's halfway down some raggedy roads and nobody knows what bridges are burned and lessons are learned. How will they return? What I suggest is that you invest in something that outweighs your current concern. I can discern the real from the phonies. Down for the calls in front of their homies. I'm out in the field, dirt under my nails. Whether or not the cameras are on me, whether they know me or whether they don't. Now how I decide if I will or I won't. Move with intention through other dimensions. I'm fully aware that I'm different than most. More gifted than most. Envisioning ghosts that come from a time when most folks actually did what they spoke. I'll poke holes in your theories with the simplest of queries. And I know that you can hear me, but the truth is you should fear me. Honestly, I'm leery of anyone who clearly engages in self-hatred and delivers it sincerely. Hear me when I tell you that I'm not like other rappers. And the thing that makes me dangerous is that I make changes. No, I'm not trying to be famous. I don't even know who half these lames is. I don't care if you don't know what my name is. Like Ghostface, I'm faceless. My aim's not to confuse you. I hope that I don't lose you. Simply stated, the debate is why you let these people use you, abuse you, seduce you. It might be entertaining, but I'm not here to amuse you. Be truthful. Weren't you the one that conquered odds insurmountable? Don't be mad at the messenger for holding you accountable. You don't want to go around or two. Go with the legend and the founder too. I'll be excommunicated from the culture just for being down with you. Step into the lion's den to see if I am lying. Dare to touch the lion's skin that I choose to reside in. I possess a deadly reign, a rival to Poseidon, a titan among titans. Get it? Alright then. Step into the lion's den to see if I am lying. Dare to touch the lion's skin that I choose to reside in. I possess a deadly reign, a rival to Poseidon, a titan among titans. Get it? Alright then. That's for the Leos. And for the non-Leos that think Leos have egos, we might. Cameraman's a Leo. All right, so, excuse me. The last one we have is called Giants. This one is dedicated to all of the women in hip-hop whose shoulders I stand on. Let's do it. Couple scratches for you. I dedicate this track to the legends. Been rocking with the best since 1987. They calling me the next, so patiently I'm waiting to grab a torch and give them what they anticipating. Light hit me up and said it's time to make it happen. Real rapping, not the racket that the rest of them is rapping. She's a scrapping, ain't an option, pay no mind to the hating. Just spit that undeniable and let them keep debating it. Bronx keep creating it, Brooklyn keep supporting it. We carrying the culture while the rest of y'all distorting it, distorting it. Buying what the media is supplying you, a poison sign to blind you with the platinum teeth they lying through. I'm trying to inspire you to take what they deny you, reminding you to reach for some higher to aspire to, inquire to, acquire to. I'll listen, retire to, comply with what's required to, recline when I desire to. A couple more strategies for you. They would know what lasts if it wasn't for the ladies. A daughter of hip-hop, I'm following my calling, but I wouldn't be here without the ones who went before me. I can only tell my story because they first told theirs, and I could ride the escalator because they took those stairs. Here's the truth, they made it possible to shake my dreams. Now I'm relentless in pursuit to go and get those things. By any means, I must admit, I put my best foot first, because it's not enough to talk, you gotta do good works. And what works and what's good and what's real and what's facts. Wait, I won't go any further without mentioning the brand. The first to go platinum as a matter of fact, son. Can't even mention rap without the name Sharon Jackson, cause she shot rock and she can't be stopped. And she's the reason that the ladies can come out on top. No, I can never stop until the legends on my peers, and they respect my contributions the way I do theirs. Until these baby girls know that they can choose to take flight. Until we recognize the damage and we make things right. Until Lauren knows we love her and we miss her voice. Till she forgives the way we dissed her and she has no choice but to come back and raise the bar to an impossible high. Until remind the generation that they need her and why. Until Bahamadia knows that she's a legend in the game. And the world is Tony Blackman and everything that she gave. To Jean Grey is a household name, and the battle rappers credit Roxanne Shante. Today I admire all the ladies that were there from the start, and tell us all about the love and doing it from the heart, until the hip hop world's enthusiastic as Zion when they remember that we're standing on the shoulders of giants. So that song is called Giants. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Legends TV. I'll be back a little bit later so we can talk a little slower, a little less whiny. That should be a good time. Hieroglyphics and crayon. Go get it. Coming from a female MC.
For nearly a decade, Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio has featured interviews with the greatest names in the arts and sports. Heard worldwide at legendsradio.net, the program has featured these great musical legends: Ray Manzarek of The Doors, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Judy Collins, Roberta Flack, and many more. Stars from movies, TV, and comedy have included Jenny McCarthy, Wayne Brady, 30 Rock's Judah Friedlander, Shelley Berman, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, David Allen Greer, and Paul Mooney. Stars of pro wrestling and MMA include Bruno Sammartino, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, and Frank Shamrock. Co-hosted by renowned journalist Dr. Mike Lano, Legends Radio is heard Wednesdays 7 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are archived 24/7 with hundreds of hours of classic interviews. Legends Radio also features the best in indie music, showcasing talent deserving wider exposure.
I'm from Brooklyn, baby. Don't forget the gravy.
We are soldiers.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
I am Tom Mealy for the Harrison Law Group, and I have been telling you for years that getting involved in an automobile accident is no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. If you've been involved in an accident of any kind, and you go to a law firm that says you have no case, it's simple. It's because they can't do it and they don't get it. You need to call us directly at 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
And we are back with Legends TV, and that was AtLas, and she'll be back later in the show for an interview. But right now we have my co-host, John Winnell, noted poet, with the Edgar Allan Poet shirt on.
Yeah, and I understand we have this Baltimore crew. It was a totally happenstance. Right. The stars have aligned.
That's right. Under the Mat Radio, Shinblade, Evan Prout, NSC Gameboy, who will be performing later as well. And what an honor it is to have from Men on a Mission, Oscar. And Oscar, if anybody knows hip-hop, it's you. What did you think of AtLas?
I thought AtLas was fantastic. The lyrics that she was spitting were just phenomenal. I see the future of female in hip-hop right there. She needs to keep doing it.
There you go. And we'll talk females in hip-hop later.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a pet peeve of mine that the ladies don't get the recognition. There's so few that really make it in that business. And that's sexism. There's something very wrong there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a male-dominated genre when it first started out. You know, back in the late '70s and then the '80s. Then the females stepped up, and when the females stepped up, they took over. You got Queen Latifah, MC Lyte. It started off with one of the early ones that she mentioned in her rap was Chirac. Chirac was a member of a group called the Funky 4+1.
I saw them in a club in New York 30 years ago.
I'm
107 years old, Oscar.
It started out. It started out with Sequence, who were the first female rap group to make a record on Sugar Hill, the label, with the Sugar Hill Gang. Was Sylvia Robinson signed Sequence.
Yeah, Sylvia passed.
Did she really?
Yeah.
She actually, it was at a Sugar Hill Gang concert. I'm not going to make a long story. It was a Sugar Hill Gang because it was, Blondie told me the story. It was a Sugar Hill Gang concert they were at, and they saw Sylvia backstage. They did a small rap for her. She said, "That's very nice." Took the information. 2 weeks later, gave them a call, and then they came up here to New York, and the rest was history.
Wow, a little hip-hop history in the birthplace of hip-hop.
In the birthplace.
Bronx, New York.
Right.
Absolutely. So, Under the Mat Radio, Evan, tell us about it. What makes the radio show so special?
What makes it special, first of all, glad to be here.
Thank you.
Representing Baltimore. This is TAC, Live, Legends TV.
That's right.
NSC Gameboy, my great co-host.
You already know what it is, what it do.
It's the sensational one, Shinblade.
Greetings.
The Shin Hands.
There
Glad
you go.
to be here. Randy outside.
You're much too spiritual for this show. I'm kidding.
Glad to be here.
It's going to start floating in a second.
And there are shinheads.
Yeah.
Like Hulkamaniacs?
No, I actually call them shy followers on Facebook.
Shy followers?
Yes, I call them shy followers.
Well, maybe you need to switch. You're more famous than me. Maybe we need to change that. Because I don't have an Oscar follower. I don't even have not one. I don't even have a rat in my kitchen that follow me anywhere.
And maybe see if we can have the Shin action figures with the beanie hat and a little.
The
Shin.
Wow.
But answer your question, Alvin. Makes the show special. I got my great co-host here. We've been friends for over 20 years. Literally grew up. And
wow.
We was able to, break borders, if you will, of being the first successful black wrestling radio show. Not only.
And you do more than just wrestling, though.
Yeah, we have wrestlers, we have musicians, we have comic book artists, we've had actors, Hollywood producers, even mixed martial arts fighters and UFC legends.
All together.
Wow. Yes, all together. One show we actually had 2 wrestlers, former WWE referee Jimmy Kodaris. We had a belt maker, a guy who makes the belts, and we also had a guy to set up the ring. So it was a pretty, nice show.
There you go. And who are the most famous names you've had on the show?
We've had Dan Severin, Ken Shamrock, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. We've had him, Landy Poffo.
Landy.
We've interviewed Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, great Ron Simmons, Harley Race, former NWA champion. We have a lot of great guys. I know I'm leaving out a lot, but just this blessed that we had the opportunity to not only talk to these guys on radio, but also have personal relationships with some of them to chat with them.
Lanny is a very good friend of ours. He's been on the show, and he's even stayed at my house. I book him for appearances, and what a great guest. This guy could talk about anything and do poetry. So tell us, there's so many wrestling shows and so many podcasts and so many radio shows. What's the ultimate goal for Under the Mat?
No, the ultimate goal first is we started local, and we were blessed that we got international recognition. Big ups to Wrestle Talk TV. And we're known nationally. A lot of interviews we do are broadcasted and also mentioned on the live famous wrestling sites. So we started in an actual radio studio, and we branched out to online radio. We have some projects coming up with Ustream, so you'll be able to actually see Tech, see NSC Gameboy finally, put faces with the voices. And we have a lot of things coming up too.
Like Howard Stern and Imus, they have the show live.
Yes.
They stream it. Great idea.
Exactly.
Great idea. And Shimbley, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, actually, I'm the correspondent / videographer. It's a long story how I met these two, and I did an audition for a radio show for the same radio station that they started. And eventually I didn't get it, and then, the Facebook thing running around, I got added onto this group, and I remember NSC Gameboy couldn't make the show for a couple times, and Tech had called me, and we met up, and we had conversations, and he liked me, he put me on the show, and actually, to tell you the truth, you were my first interview guest.
Really?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
What
goes around comes around. There you go.
So
old, aren't you?
I was his first guest in 1957. Yeah.
So now, NSC Gameboy, he takes over, and usually for me is that I'm the third guy, what I usually say. So when they do the show and if they misquote notes and everything, or there's something missing, I always would throw the notes to them, and they would get it and say correction or this note right here. But sometimes I'm on the show and I interview with them, and I'm the cameraman when we go to these wrestling shows, and that's basically it.
All right. And NSC Gameboy, tell us a little about yourself, and you're a rapper as well.
Ain't that much to talk about me, though. I started rapping professionally about 10 years ago. I've known Evan for over 20 years. I recently met Shimbley during our beginning days of Under the Mat Radio. Rapping has really come natural. I consider myself more of a poet and a guy who writes poetry, and got into hip-hop and rapping.
Well, you have poet John Winnell doing the set right before you. So what's the relationship between poetry and hip-hop?
Instrumentals. When you're talking in poetry, you can choose whatever speed you want. When you're talking on a beat, you have to go with the beat, or it's not going to sound right. That's not going to be propelled in the manner that you need it to be. So I think that's the biggest line right there. It's just the instrumental.
But I find that a lot of hip-hop artists are also poets, and a lot of poets respect hip-hop artists, right, John?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, if the lyric communicates, I mean, that's really what it's all about.
Awesome.
I personally can't wait to see NSC Gameboy perform.
There you go.
He's an accomplished performer and rapper. We had a battle rap on the radio.
Really? Really?
Yeah, he lost, of course, but I'm sure he's come a long way since. All right. So I can't wait to see you, man.
Thank you, bro. I say rematch clause. Like in wrestling, a guy at Coole always revoked the rematch clause.
What do you think this is, Cena Orton?
Hey, there's a long way to go for that.
Yeah.
Only part 2, got another 800 to go.
Cena and Orton have wrestled, this is no joke, 319 times. How ridiculous is this? 319 times.
Say it again for the first time.
So if Cena turns heel and Orton turns face, they could do it another 319 times.
Oh my goodness.
Numbing.
Honestly, there was a report, I remember this week that I reported where Cesaro, he was at Hell in a Cell, and I guess it was part of the punishment. He lost to Dolph Ziggler in 2 straight falls, in 2 out of 3 falls match. And for me personally, I was upset. I thought we could have a fall and whoever wins, and I wanted to see him win personally. Yeah. But he was criticized because he did the segment where, you know, he did an interview where he said that he was sick and tired of seeing Cena and Orton 3 million times. And
Yeah,
that's
we all are.
Yes.
They must be tired of it by now.
I'm sure.
So ideally, let's say it's 5 years down the road, where would you like to see Under the Mat Radio go?
I would love us to have our own studio like you, Evan. You know, bring in.
I don't own this place. I just work here.
Well, you know, I can have a desk, and NSC Gameboy can have a desk. We have our own studio. Bring in wrestlers, interview them. Be able to go to not only a lot of radio shows, and we consider ourselves radio. We don't use the term podcast. Radio shows or podcasts now, they focus mainly on WWE, TNA, and they forget about local guys. You know, they forget about the local indie fans. They forget about even collegiate wrestlers. So for us to have a big show, you know, a studio that we can own.
Sure.
You know, and if we own it, we can bring you on to and tell a real story. You know, instead of the
you could talk to Coole High about Bonfire Radio and talk about ownership and taking control of your fate, and you know, you could learn a lot from Coole High and Tasty Quiche and that whole Bonfire crew. They're doing some great things.
And one thing with us is that a lot of people love our show, whether it be fans. We're able to bring in people who haven't watched wrestling in years. They watch it because of our show. People that don't even watch wrestling, period, but you listen to us because we're not the cookie cutter. If we don't like something that's done, we're going to say it.
That's right.
Even some of the boys. And anybody that's watching, when we say the boys, it means the actual wrestlers. Love our show because we don't mince our words. We don't see something that we don't like, hey, this is stupid. We don't get it. Why is it wanting to see
You mean like the 27 ticket sellers and the 4-hour indie shows that go past midnight, and the guys that can't sell and don't own gear, etc., so on?
I will mention that I've been to an indie show that the show was 5.5 hours long.
Yeah.
Which is longer than WrestleMania.
Which is about 3 hours too long.
Right.
Right.
And we even saw a Lego death match in one of the matches.
Every show should have a Lego death match.
You know? Like Lego figures?
Yes, Lego figures cut up.
That was sarcasm.
Wasn't that like Sock'em Rock'em Robots on a different level?
And there was even blood. You know, somebody even got busted open the hard way.
Lego.
Lego shark things.
Cesaro, who's one of the best wrestlers in the world, was wrestling with pumpkins yesterday. This is how absurd it's getting. You saw that on SmackDown?
Was that for Halloween?
Yeah, it was like a Halloween theme.
And Dean Ambrose came out with a kendo stick that was colored like a candy corn.
Yeah,
and
come on. You know, it's like for 6-year-olds.
Well,
I love Cesaro, don't get me wrong. The guy's awesome.
Well, I would like to see, smells good in here, got the caramel scent. I'd like to see one day NSC Gameboy, Oscar, even Evan Ginsberg. We get a little freestyle. Get Evan Ginsberg. I would love that. I like to Gameboy, Evan Ginsberg, little fusion.
I have heel managed on indie shows. That's fun.
Okay.
That's fun. But I'm not going to rap. That I could tell you.
So, Evan, I just want to thank you. Right now, I'm sitting here on the couch, and you're sitting there. I feel like Andy Richter on the Conan.
That's right, you are. You're my Andy Richter today.
I'm not like Andy Richter, but old like Ed McMahon when he was with Johnny Carson.
There you go.
So I'm like really getting the vibe here. I can get used to this.
Yeah, if you live long enough, strange things happen.
There you go,
right? That's
But we want to know real quick, because we get questions.
Mm-hmm.
This guy here, the little son, does he have a name?
Not that I'm aware of. Tommy could tell us. He's one of the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Did your wife make you throw that out?
No, my grandkids.
Okay.
I kind of like it. It's.
I love it.
I do too.
That's great.
We go. Is it female, male? What's the gender? Does it have a gender? Look at
Only Tommy could answer that. I have no idea.
Let's have lipstick on it. Could be.
Your own, man.
Yeah.
Put your own take on it.
This is the kind of important subject matter that we
It's
tackle
a drag
here.
queen.
We tackle here on Legends.
Oh, hey.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
So please tell the listeners how they could check out Under the Mat Radio, when it's on, where it's on, and all that good stuff.
Well, Under the Mat Radio, you can follow us, listen to us live every Tuesday, live, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can go on www.blogtalkradio.com/PWP Radio. That's big ups to Pro Wrestling Powerhouse. Also, we stream live on www.prowrestlingpowerhouse.com. On Twitter, you can follow the show at tech_UTMR.
And you can follow me, NSC Gameboy, spelled correctly, because people cannot spell NSC Gameboy.
How do you spell NSC? I'm joking. It's a joke. Yeah, all right.
You can follow Shinblade on Twitter.
Shinblade at Sensational One, and I'm going to spell it out for you at ShinAtionAlone.
Okay.
We also have Facebook, Under the Mat Radio, Instagram page, Under the Mats Radio, all one word. Follow our YouTube videos on Pro Wrestling Powerhouse channel on YouTube, and we have our own YouTube channel that's coming up as well.
Wow, there you go. We're expanding. And John, plug your book.
Well, it's right over there, but it's Poems for Everyday People. And you can contact me at John, JONWINELL at yahoo.com, or Facebook, just my name. And if you like the work, we will get it out to you. But I'm going to do a little short set later in the show. So.
All right.
Okay. And Oscar, any social media?
friedchickeneaters.org.
Okay.
Now, actually, you can catch me at Men on a Mission, The Legacy on Facebook. Casanova, you fans can email me, casanovaace@yahoo.com. Follow me at Mom Oscar at Twitter. And Dreamy Mimi, the co-host of Not Your Mama's radio show, coming up later. And that's Dreamy Mimi on Facebook, DreaMyMimi. But she'll be here later to tell you more. But yeah, that's the social media stuff.
All right. And Apartment 4B, like in Brooklyn, my book about growing up on the tough streets of East Flatbush, Brooklyn, back in the 60s and 70s. And one final plug, check out Mr. Dynamite, the James Brown documentary on HBO. Unbelievable, unbelievable, folks. And we will be right back with more of Legends TV. Don't you dare go anywhere.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Mad House TV.
You are the man.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
All right, and we are back with Legends TV, and we are honored to once again have Dr. David Reese, sports psychiatrist, joined by Dreamy Mimi. And tell us about your radio show with Oscar.
We have a podcast called Not Your Mama's Radio Show. We're on every Thursday evening, just talking about wrestling, and I'm pretty much mediating between Oscar and Mo.
Okay, okay. And what have been some of the highlights of the show?
Just the topics that we've had, and some of the guests, of course. I really enjoyed Owen Hart.
Bruce Hart.
Bruce Hart?
Yeah, Bruce Hart.
I'm sorry.
Bruce on Owen. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Owen died.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Bruce Hart.
Yeah. Sorry. But it's been a few guests that I've really enjoyed.
And Oscar, what motivated you to do radio? I mean, all the top comedians have embraced radio. Most musicians haven't, and most wrestlers certainly haven't. Bruce Hart is one of the few, and you're one of the few. What motivated you to do this?
A funny story. You see Evan sitting over there?
Yeah.
I did Evan's show, and I was like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. So
All right.
I did Evan's show.
That's a backhanded compliment.
And then I did this other show called Pipe Bomb Radio, who's our network sponsor. And they suggested that Mo and I tried it out, and yeah, it was they pioneered, me coming in. So I have Evan to thank you, Evan.
All right.
Yes, I'm sorry. Now you got the second biggest podcast in the radio. No, they were my inspiration.
So we used to have the rock and wrestling connection. Why don't you do the hip hop and wrestling connection? You'd be the perfect guy.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that you would say that, I mean, I am the architect of hip-hop and wrestling, from way back. I mean, Men on a Mission started that movement, and now today, you have everybody from John Cena to Stephanie McMahon, coming out with rap music. So, yeah, I would take your advice because, I mean, that melds it all together. I mean, yeah, I take all the credit in the world for that. The first guy, and I'm not being facetious, I'm just telling a story, the first guy that actually, brought rap music to an arena where rap music wasn't prevalent. You had trailer park people with their hands in the air going, ho, hey, that
Yeah.
would never go to a Run DMC
That's
concert.
right, that's right.
But they were wrestling fans, and they got into it when we came out to the rap, the music, and everything like that, and Mo and Mabel, and it's a phenomenal legacy to be a part of.
Wow. So I would think ideally if you had a radio show with a name wrestler along with a name rapper and some great indie rappers, I think it would be a beautiful package.
Well, Evan, you've been pushing for me to move the radio show to other areas for a while now. So I'm thinking that maybe it might be time to explore that because, you know, the show has a lot of listeners now, a lot of downloads, but you're right, it'll probably get 10 times more than that if we expanded our horizon. So come 2015, that's exactly what we're going to do.
That's right.
And you're going to be one of the producers of that, even from here, since you
Okay.
opened your mouth and
All
you say
right.
that
All
we
right.
should do thus and so.
What an honor.
So you're going to help orchestrate that, and we're going to move that to the next level with all the other things that we're doing.
That's right. And speaking of which, this is very important. Dr. David Reese and yourself, you're going to combat suicides and depression in wrestling. Tell us what you're in the middle of, David.
Well, we're working on the One at Equilibrium project, which is, we're working with wrestling right now, but other athletes, entertainers, and basically the public at large in terms of identifying depression, letting people being willing to talk about it, doing away with the stigma, and really getting venues for people to open up, get help if they need it, or just exchange ideas. And whether it's preventing tragedies in wrestling or in entertainment or things like happened in Washington, to identify the problems before they get to the crisis, tragic stage.
And it certainly has gotten to that stage. We've lost so many wrestlers to suicide, including Mike Awesome from ECW, and there's a long history of this. And
Yeah.
Sean O'Hare.
Sean O'Hare.
And we really need to combat the pressures of those who say, no, you know, we need to make money off the next show or off the next match or off the next game.
So how are you going about that? What are you doing, teach-ins or something like that? Because people have to come to you in order to, you know,
Right.
to identify, you know, that there even is something going on.
We have a couple of things. We're setting up some support networks which will be peer-to-peer. Some will be moderated by professionals, some will be peer-to-peer. We're also putting on seminars where we will be just giving people educational information about depression and about mental health issues, as well as training people how to identify it among friends, among colleagues, and really where to put their priorities. That not only is it inhumane to send someone out there when they shouldn't be out there, but it's stupid because you're going to lose them in the long run. So it's going to be seminars, it's going to be peer-to-peer support groups, and it's going to be hotlines, and really getting it out there where people feel free to talk without being stigmatized.
So you'll have places for them, so you'll do auditoriums, places for them to go to.
We're going everything
hotlines, telephones.
from some of the very large sports corporations to colleges, to, you know, we're going to high schools even.
Very good.
We're looking across the whole spectrum.
That's great.
Now's the time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, even younger than that, you know, but, I mean, you know, if you work, because, I mean, there is a problem with athletes, certain, in all, you know, concussion and other areas that can, you know, that can bring on.
Sure. It's just at the Sports Legacy Institute dinner Thursday night where the main theme was to avoid soccer players from heading the ball until they're 14, to make that illegal. Because you come out with the people who never even make it to high school soccer because they've had concussions when they were kids.
Sure. Right.
And then they have depression from the concussions.
Right.
When you were on the show a few months back, we were talking about the after the glory.
Right.
You have guys who are headlining arenas. They wake up one day, they're a security guard, they're bouncing at a club, they're pushing a broom somewhere, and that's a very hard thing to deal with.
It was the movie that you produced, The Wrestler, which led to my inspiration to start this initiative.
I was the associate producer, not the money guy.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
But when I watched the movie, I could relate. A lot of us had to go and get jobs after the lights went out.
Sure.
A lot of us did not manage our money well, and I'm sad to say I'm one of the people. And I'm one of the people that suffered from, a limited depression after it was over. And my partner, Mo, I mean, it even went to, and I say this because he has said it publicly on radio and television, he even thought about suicide. He put a gun in his mouth. Wow. It was by the grace of God that he didn't, he didn't kill himself. But it's a thing where watching your movie that you're associate producer of, then with the death of Sean O'Hare, I said enough is enough. I understand personally what these guys go through.
Sure.
So another thing that these seminars and another thing that this initiative will cover is financial planning while you're there, investments so that when you leave you don't have to go push a broom, and how to deal when the lights go out, because a lot of people leave the WWE, for instance, they leave it with the really a wrong bad feeling. See, the WWE was never a permanent thing for anybody. You have a few guys that are legendary, that are blessed to be a part of it for 20, 30 years. Right. But that's not most of us.
The exception.
And they leave it, not leaving a company, but they leave it like it's a marriage that ended and I don't know why.
And this goes to every level. You have the pros who are finished with their career and don't know what they're doing. You have the college players who don't make it to the pros and don't know where their life is going. You have the high school players who don't make it to college and don't know where they're going. And it goes down from, and you never hear about those people. They don't make the newspaper, they don't make Twitter, but they're out there suffering.
And I'll even say too, without mentioning names, that I have the opportunity to talk to some of the guys who used to work in WWE or wrestle, and one of the former trainers for WWE, I tend to talk to him at times personally, and I talked to him at times when he was down, he just felt like dying, or because it's tough. When you out and you perform around 20,000, 3,000 people,
right,
500 people, and it's the lights, and the spotlight is on you, and then something happens.
Right.
And that's it. You wake up and no one's chanting your name. No one's asking for an autograph.
Right.
Or, you don't have this view, and your world is this big, and then your world is that.
And it's not even just when something happens. It's when your run is just simply over.
And everybody's afraid to talk to the coach or the promoter because they're afraid if I mention that this is going on, then I'm going to be sent down.
So there's still a stigma with mental illness. My mom's been in and out of mental hospitals 4 times in 2 years. So I know the subject area, unfortunately. And there's still a stigma in America. People don't like to talk about it. They're embarrassed. They're ashamed. John's a psychologist as well. What's your take on all of this?
Well, no. I mean, it's a very, very serious thing, and there is a stigma. Of course, in regular life, I mean, people that even can't get out of bed, but certainly in the entertainment field and in the sports field, if that's going to be the focus, you're going from being, being on the road and getting this solid paycheck, and then your career ends. I comes to mind Darryl Strawberry or Doc Gooden, who were really famous, who, had other chemical difficulties, but, they ruined their lives and ended up with nothing. I mean, I'm sure that they're suffered as much as anybody else, but those are the people that we know about. The difficulty is touching the people that we don't know about, that have the stigma, that are afraid or don't even have, part of depression is the the crippling aspects of it, which would make other people, training to be able to pull them out of their shells. So that's where the finesse comes in,
And people really understand the difference between sadness and depression, when someone needs help, when they don't need help, and not to mess around with it.
Yeah. I mean, there was a writer, William Styron, who had crippling depression and fought with it for years and wrote these magnificent novels, and of course caught criticism, but he wrote Sophie's Choice, which people would know, and I think he wrote Nat Turner. I think he did that as well. Just brilliant. He was like cum laude at Duke and had, magnificent depression and was fighting it. I think he wrote even about he wrote a little tome about it, just the darkness of what he was suffering, just to help out. I mean,
I think it's finally the time that it's coming to the public. I just talked to CNN this week, and they're doing an initiative among their own staff to send in their personal stories, and then they're going to post them.
Wow.
To make it more public and do away with the stigma.
That's it. For people to become familiar and make it palatable, make it so it's approachable and not this dark thing that they can be ashamed of.
Exactly.
You know.
What is personally motivating you to get involved with the wrestling world and do this?
Basically just the tragedies that I've seen and how frustrating it is, you know, as a practitioner, that sometimes all you can do is sit back and watch the tragedy unfold. And you see what's going to happen, but you see that nothing's going to be done about it, whether it be because of the stigma or the insurance limitations or all the forces we have to fight these days.
I know guys who headlined arenas literally around the world, Japan, Australia, WWF back in the day, never broke 100 grand. They wake up one day and they have some crummy job, some moron is giving them orders, and it's a very hard thing to deal with. You're going from a rock star lifestyle to you're just some guy working at some place that you hate to go to every morning. Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. And as I say, the same thing on different levels. I've seen the college players who don't get drafted. And, you know, they were protected all their lives to be an athlete, even though everyone knew they were basically just fodder for the better guys who were going to get drafted. And then they're left with nothing, and no one ever hears about them.
The boxing, I have friends in the boxing business. That's a brutal business, too. Very few end up well.
Yeah.
Right. Very few.
Yeah.
So,
What was the most...
And entertainment also. Same.
Of course.
For you, what was the most heartbreaking story or case that you dealt with?
You know, there have been a lot. You know, I won't mention any case that I had any actual treatment involvement. But obviously, the Mike Graham family story.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and of course the Von Erichs.
In case people don't know, Eddie Graham and Mike Graham killed themselves.
And but also just seeing the number of people that I've talked to who come out and admit what they've experienced and how close they've been to killing themselves and never knew where to go to help or even to talk about it.
I think that's the big positive about this program is that people are going to be coming out speaking about what they go through and what they've been going through, so that it makes it easier for people that are having struggles to open up and say, okay, well, I'm not in this by myself. Sure. You know, somebody else is going through this too. Somebody else feels the same way that I feel. So I think it's an awesome initiative.
I hate to throw out cliches, but if you save one person's life, it's well worth it. One person,
right?
And it will.
If you plant a seed that takes root in 2 generations, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I normally don't mention this, but my personal life, but I've had the unfortunate experience where 2 friends that I grew up with called me and almost committed suicide. You know, one had a gun, the other one had pills, and I had to talk them down.
I've had 4 friends kill themselves. 4.
It's sad.
Yeah.
You know, it breaks your heart. And I've had a coworker who I worked with 2 years ago. I worked with him on a Wednesday, and Friday he committed suicide. And it just, you know, breaks your heart that, you know, you see someone, you never know what they're going through, quiet, nice guy. And then one day you just felt life wasn't worth it anymore.
We always hear about suicide in teens, but a very high-risk group of people our age and middle-aged people, because you wake up one day and go, wow, I made some bad choices. Right. I don't have enough money. I have all kinds of family issues. I have a broken marriage, etc., so on. And people wake up and they go, I messed things up. And,
You know,
right, David?
Yeah, and in the medical field, the highest suicide rates among dentists and psychiatrists.
That's right.
Wow.
Because, I mean, all the things that you're really hearing all the time, you know, you really lose, you know, you have to keep everything into perspective.
I've lost a few friends and colleagues.
Oh, you know, you know, sure, I know, you know, I think all of us have, you know, you realize that, you know, that, well, I think that the message is to really not take anything for granted.
Right.
That life is very precious, and you have to be thankful for what you have, and know that there always is hope.
And just a quick word, the other side of it is to fight the misogyny that's out there that fosters all of the depression and the grief and all the hatred that's out there, and to do what we can on that side of it also.
That's right,
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. And if you have any contact information, please give it out.
Website is DMR Dynamics, as one word, DMRREISS@gmail.com.
And something we didn't address today yet, tell us about the tie. It kind of goes with John's shirt.
I mean,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a theme of Baltimore,
It's
Poe,
Baltimore and
Raven.
Halloween. And this is actually from the San Diego Comic-Con.
All right,
Oh.
so we have kind of a Baltimore theme today. All right, folks, we will be right back. We thank you so much, Dr. Reese and Dreamy Mimi. One more time, plug the radio show.
It's Not Your Mama's Radio Show every Thursday night on Pipe Bomb Radio.
There you go, there you go. And when we come back, we're going to talk to AtLas. Don't go anywhere, folks.
For nearly a decade, Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio has featured interviews with the greatest names in the arts and sports. Heard worldwide at legendsradio.net, the program has featured these great musical legends: Ray Manzarek of The Doors, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Judy Collins, Roberta Flack, and many more. Stars from movies, TV, and comedy have included Jenny McCarthy, Wayne Brady, 30 Rock's Judah Friedlander, Shelley Berman, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, David Allen Greer, and Paul Mooney. Stars of pro wrestling and MMA include Bruno Sammartino, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, and Frank Shamrock. Co-hosted by renowned journalist Dr. Mike Lano, Legends Radio is heard Wednesdays 7 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are archived 24/7 with hundreds of hours of classic interviews. Legends Radio also features the best in indie music, showcasing talent deserving wider exposure.
I'm from Brooklyn, baby. Don't forget the gravy.
We are soldiers.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Mad House TV.
You are the man.
Guys, ready for the show? Yeah. Enjoy.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
I am Tom Mealy for the Harrison Law Group, and I have been telling you for years that getting involved in an automobile accident is no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. If you've been involved in an accident of any kind, and you go to a law firm that says you have no case, it's simple. It's because they can't do it and they don't get it. You need to call us directly at 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
This is Beth.
Hi.
Oh, congratulations. When are you due?
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, look at that. Excuse me.
You're totally thin.
You look very sexy.
For life's bleachable moments, all it takes is 3/4 of a cup.
Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is one of the largest suppliers in the world and your #1 resource for top quality, affordable tattoo and piercing supplies. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is the #1 supplier of tattoo inks in the world with more than 200 products including Mom's Ink, Philadelphia Eddie's Traditional Inks, Paolini Sacred Color Inks, and more. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply, your one-stop shopping destination for great service, best prices, and top quality supplies. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are undeniably distinctive, selected for their unique, memorable flavor. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are delivered to you in beautifully designed bottles featuring limited edition artwork. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are available at affordable prices in fine restaurants, bars, and liquor stores. Or check www.coneyislandcarlo.com for availability.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and what a pleasure it is to have my buddy Coole High, record producer, radio host, rapper in his own right, Renaissance man. You even cook and bake. Tell us about that.
Oh,
yeah.
I wasn't supposed to mention that.
Yeah.
But actually, I have a company called The Sound of Cheesecake. It's a small startup that I've actually done for a number of years. I decided to take it to a next level, and not only do just door-to-door sales, but I'm also doing business with certain restaurants. I just recently landed a deal with Delmonico Steakhouse.
Wow.
And, Southampton Social Club.
Wow.
So, I'm doing things with cheesecake.
There you go. There you go.
Now, what about Junior's?
It sounds like the cheesecake
From what I
is-
was told, and don't get me wrong, from what I was told, my cheesecake is better than Junior's.
It's better than Junior's?
That's what people tell me.
I'll bet it is.
I
I
will,
think
I will
Junior's
say
is
this.
overrated.
My first experience was with Junior's Cheesecake. So as far as competing with them, I would never want to compete with them because
Mhm.
they have the best plain
Best
cheesecake on the
behavior.
planet, to me.
Okay.
However, when it comes to exotic cheesecakes, I have pretty much.
And I was wondering where I was going for lunch today.
Well, hey, you can give us a call. You can make your
Yeah.
order online, and you can pre-order. You can
No, I'm
save
not making
10%.
no call. I'm coming to your house. What do you think you're talking about over
I
here?
have to come to the warehouse, but that's all right. That's all right. We can do that. We can make it happen.
But I was going to say, it sounds like that sound is a loud sound, that cheesecake sound, right?
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of great things happening, tell us about your work with AtLas.
Yeah, actually, I'm so proud to have been a major part of her album. And there it is.
Yeah.
Is that better? Yeah. I'm so proud to be a major part of her album. She's released her debut album, Hieroglyphics in Crayon, on the 22nd of September. It was a bit delayed due to some other venue mishaps, but we finally got it released on the date that we finally decided on. It's received a lot of great accolades from some of your notable musicians like DMC, to some really hot upcoming MCs that's actually touring right now. Homeboy Sandman, you're familiar with him, and quite a few others that have given her a co-sign with this album. So I'm really proud to have been the exec producer and the engineer for recordings.
Congratulations.
And at last, so you have a great new creation in your CD. But here's your greatest creation.
This is my greatest
Tell us about
creation.
Jordan.
This guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to sing? You have to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy right here, he's just a ball of fire, man. He's just all over the place. He loves to entertain and be entertained. And we had to bring him here to keep him away from the microphone.
Okay. Okay. So one day this will be like.
I love to be louder.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we do know.
So one day this will be like the Michael Jackson clip. He'll be a big star. No, so this clip is.
That's what we're shooting for. No,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, that's what it's
That's what we're
gearing to
shooting
be.
for. But my second
dark?
greatest creation to date is Hieroglyphics in Crayon. I am so proud of this album.
Now, as a female MC, who were some of your influences?
My influences are
Shooting star.
Shooting Star. Can you be
Shooting
quiet,
Star.
please? It's my
Yeah.
turn to talk. Thank you. They run the gambit. I mean, I love everybody from Marvin Gaye. I love Al Green. I'm a big Motown fan. Obviously,
Yeah.
you're gonna get kicked off the set, homie.
Yeah.
Obviously, Light, and obviously like Queen Latifah, and just the females that I mentioned in the record that I did earlier.
Right.
But I'm just a fan of music. I'm a fan of quality music, and I believe that you expel what you ingest. So if you take in great, you put out great. And so I'm very conscious of what I take in so that I can put out good quality music.
And what do you think of the state of hip hop today, honestly?
Honestly, I see it improving. It's a slow process.
Okay.
But I do see you have folks like Kendrick Lamar and a couple of folks, what's his name? J. Cole. You know, there's a few out there that are actually doing all right and that are putting some quality music out. But overall, for every J. Cole, there's a Bobby Shmurda.
Right.
So overall, I'm not too thrilled about the state of music. And we had a conversation the other day because people always say, well, the next generation will always hate the last generation's music. It's just kind of how it goes. But unfortunately, if you think about it, this generation's, it's not the sound of the music, it's the content in the music.
Okay.
And so these kids are taking it in blindly, and they're eating it up. And what I tell my students is that rather than to think you are what you eat, try considering you are what you consume.
Okay.
So everything you buy, everything you listen to, everything you overhear, all of these things are becoming a part of the fabric of who you are as a person. And when you start to think about it in those terms, then it's like you hear a song on the radio, but you're not necessarily listening to that song. But then you find yourself in the supermarket singing it. And so you have to be really conscious and aware of what it is you're taking in, even when you're not consciously taking it in.
I'll tell you on my end, it's interesting. I'll get videos from young hip-hop artists, and it'll be every stereotype in the book. You have the half-naked women gyrating, and the guy's bragging about what he's going to do to her. And I go, I'm not going to play that, and I'm not interested.
Oh, come on,
we have
Evan.
positive.
You got to play some of that.
We have positive hip-hop.
There's your
on
sense
the
of
show.
humor. Got to be a good sport.
There you go. There you go. So why don't you speaking of videos, why don't you set up this video?
Leo Ego. So this was a song that I performed a bit earlier. And really, it sounds, because of the title was intended to kind of make you raise the eyebrow a little bit.
Okay.
But it's really to draw your attention to calling some of these other artists to task. And so this video is very straightforward. It's kind of dark, but that's just to get you to kind of just focus in on what's happening. Not too many lights, not too many flashy anything going on. It's just a single shot. This guy right here, he's multi-talented. He directed it.
All right.
Good stuff.
And speaking of great hip-hop, we have So Soon on in a couple of weeks.
Is that right?
I love that guy.
Yeah,
That guy's awesome.
He's awesome.
There
We
you
saw him
go.
the other day.
All right, let's check out the video, folks.
All I need is one mic and a couple dope lyrics. The speaker's loud enough for you to hear it. And I swear that's all it takes for me to crush the competition. I ain't no battle rapper, but I bet you if I did it and we went lyric for lyric, at first you would revere it, then I'd verbally decapitate your spirit. I live it every day, no need to brag or boast to them. I'm humble, but I guarantee I'm better than the bulk of them. Most of them is acting dope, it's the fact that I'm dope and I'm gathering those who's factoring hope and I'm to the hope. Not folks that's just fashionable, more concerned with having their clothes and bagging their holes or stabbing their foes and changing the course of the life of a kid who's halfway down some raggedy roads and nobody knows what bridges I burned and lessons I learned. How would I return? What I suggest is that you invest in something that outweighs your current concern. I can discern the real from the phonies, down for the cause in front of their homies. I'm out in the field, dirt under my nails, whether or not the cameras are on me, whether they know me or whether they don't. Now how I decide if I will or I won't. Move with attention through other dimensions. I'm fully aware that I'm different than most, more gifted than most. Envision and ghosts that come from a time when most folks actually did what they spoke. I poke holes in your theories with a simple list of queries, and I know that you can hear me, but the truth is you should fear me. Honestly, I'm leery of anyone who clearly engages in self-hatred and delivers it sincerely. Hear me when I tell you that I'm not like other rappers, and the thing that makes me dangerous is that I'm making changes. No, I'm not trying to be famous. I don't even know who half of these lames names is. I don't care if you don't know what my name is. I like Ghostface, I'm faceless. My aim's not to confuse you. I hope that I don't lose you. Simply stated, the debate is why you let these people use you, abuse you, seduce you. It might be entertaining, but I'm not here to amuse you. Be truthful, aren't you the one that conquered odds insurmountable? Don't be mad at the messenger for holding you accountable. You don't wanna go world rounder too. Go with the legends that I found her too. I be excommunicated from the culture just for being down with you. Step into the lion's den to see if I am lying. Dare to touch the lion's skin that I choose to reside in. I possess a deadly rain, a rival to Poseidon. A titan among titans. Get it? Alright then. Step into the lion's den to see if I am lying. Dare to touch the lion's skin that I choose to reside in. I possess a deadly rain, a rival to Poseidon. A titan among titans. Get it? Alright then.
All right, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. That was AtLas, and please tell everybody how they could get in touch with you and buy all this great music.
So we are in the process of updating the site, but currently it goes to, it's Polaris.com. So that's www.polaryss.com. And you can buy the album on iTunes, you can listen to it on Spotify, any of the major social media outlets or the major digital distribution. It's all there.
All right, and Coole, Bonfire Radio, anything you want to plug?
Oh, Bonfire Radio.
Yeah.
Actually, I am also co-owner of Bonfire Radio, and you can find us at bondfireradio.com. I am one of the hosts on the station, as well as Tasty Keisha, or Keisha Dutess. She is also my partner and co-owner of the station as well. We have 8 different shows on the station right now, and we're looking to build up more in 2015.
bondfire.com, correct?
Yes, because we form bonds.
There you go.
Real radio for real people.
All right. And that'll about do it, folks. And when we come back, it's going to be Poet John Winnell and NSC Gameboy on stage. So we have a lot more show to go. Don't go anywhere.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
I am Tom Mealy for the Harrison Law Group, and I have been telling you for years that getting involved in an automobile accident is no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. If you've been involved in an accident of any kind, and you go to a law firm that says you have no case, it's simple. It's because they can't do it and they don't get it. You need to call us directly at 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
Welcome back to Legends TV. This is host of Under the Mat Radio, Evan, proud otherwise known as Tech. I'm about to bring to you a very great poet named John Winnell, who will bring to you 3 great pieces.
Thank you. Thank you. 2 new and 1 from the book. This is for Susan. Agony in the Garden. Sizzling moonlight, the air weeps for water. We sit beneath lemon trees, drinking wine that sanctifies our freedom. Even as the years pass, all this is just illusion. The fruit that bore from labor, the singing that coveted sorrows, getting tossed from paradise we thought we'd found, those early hours when beauty was hung from a branch and transformed into a crow, that fateful night. This is called Autumn Chill. Sad autumn chill suspends breath. Round midnight plays on a faraway radio. Tonight I dreamed of you, your scent as it collapsed in the air, and my skin rose with curiosity. Did we listen to the waters of the moon that night when infinity could be viewed in a grain of sand? Lynn is a poem. That's what I heard. She flows like the equations of time, where beauty is measured in breaths, not quavers. She sinks into a drizzling sunset where streets shimmer in pillows of lost raindrops. And this one's from the book. Winter's tail dances in the snow. The bearded wind curls sleep into the city. Birds hover gently, making soft sound. Their songs are all erased from the sky. I wander streets, remembering your songs, sweet, pungent, filling me with ecstasy that summer when the pale moon hovered above the sea and fields were alive with mystery. I wonder if the neighbors are still fighting, if you ever found that locket, or if your uncle's house got toppled by termites. Here's the book. And now, NSC Gameboy.
All right. Yeah. I am the NSC Gameboy, co-host of Under the Mat Radio. Let me stand up a little bit. There we go. How y'all folks doing out there? Once again, check out Under the Mat Radio Tuesday, 7 to 9 on blogtalkradio.com/PWP. Okay, trying to get everything up and running. Tell y'all about myself. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, as you all very well know. Been professional rapping for 10 years. I'm here to do a few cuts from my new greatest hits album that's coming out beginning of next year. Hope everyone check it out. And be sure to download my mobile app. It's free. I think it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, this song is called Hang On. See, she's running out of her building, yelling and screaming. She's mad cause her baby father always be leaving. See, she promised her diamonds and pearls. He said as long as you have the baby, he'll stay in your world. She's angry, mad, confused. She wants to go back to school, but they ain't bad man cost a few. So what can you do when your dues are used up? Laughing at you cause they ran right through you. Now she's crying, she's upset with the world. And her family and friends forget that girl. She lying in the face, wanna see you well. Trying to find it, you know, to understand. What more can she take? Her mind starts to break. We look at adoption as a way to escape. We look at the sky with tears in her face. We pray to God that she change her fate. Hang on for the place you be. Hang on in your life to see. Hang on for the times are old. Hang on cause the road is cold. You can have anything in life, wait and see. Hang on and just believe. Hang on. See you getting the job should be made easy, but if you got a record, man, they act sleazy. See, it's hard for a man to go and do right, cause every wrong turn he makes it up with flashing lights. The road that we take is so messed up. Trying to come with the kids, and they don't know us no more. And they always want to tell us black men is strong, but what they don't tell us, black men don't get far. It's not about color, it's about our mistakes. It's the choices we made that leave us up in this place. We need to find answers, trying to change our fate, so we don't put us last in this race. Hang on for the place you'll be. Hang on in your hang on for the times are old. Hang on cause the road is cold. You can have anything in life, wait and see. Hang on and just believe. Hang on. See, your door slams on the child. She misses her father. Her older brother walk will say, why do you bother? The mother don't know how to call him. And all the men she sleep with, they try to make them fathers. They hate at the fact that their friends have dads. Now it's just 3 of them. The 4th one gone bad. The mother tell the kids that it'll be okay. The kids tell them he'll change one day. This is one of the stories where you know the end, but you wanna hear the story, hope it change again. The father came back, the family was so glad. He left his pack of cigarettes and he left again. Hang on for the place you be. Hang on and your life will see. Hang on for the times are old. Hang on cause the road is cold. You can have anything in life, wait and see. Hang on and just believe. Hang on. Yeah. That song right there is called Hang On. Catch that on my Greatest Hits album. Thank you. Gotta take these glasses off. I got something to say. Shit. I hit the gate, close, the people shove their nose. The emperor's new groove, but I'm finally close. How in the world they say they broke the mold when I'm the only hero that carry the mold? Giving their teeth, their life there's only facts to see. These people confused of the recipe. They live in the fortress, playing king and queen, thinking they better than anybody they meet. When they come out the castle and hit these streets, you can see they know better than you and me. They talk real big. The sky's the limit. They down the side, man. They have no spirit. Walk around on walls and protect the evil because they the real ones turning the evil. Brick by brick, strong the world, strong and high. It only takes one person to break the tie. I don't fight for no queen. I don't fight for no king. I don't let stone walls imprison me. Yo, I fight for myself. I fight to achieve. I'm a castle crasher. I fight for my dream. I don't fight for no queen. I don't fight for no king. I don't let stone walls imprison me. Yo, I fight for myself. I fight to achieve. I'm a castle crasher. I fight for my dream. Now deep in the castle, past the lair, when the servants sleep at and the people ain't fed. They have a little crowd, and they know the truth, but they don't have the power to break on through. They've been picked on teased, thrown in the heat, told they nothing, no chance to succeed. Hating at the fact they stare at the wall, punching on it repeatedly, hoping it fall. Looking to the sky and see the rain, hoping yourself the only way out of this pain. Never giving up, no backing down, fighting to our answers, either sure or found. So off to the castle, you can hear the yell. Time being overlooked and pushed around. Stand on your feet and clean your turf. This is your time and your movement. Prove your worth. I don't fight for no queen. I don't fight for no king. I don't let stone walls imprison me. Yo, I fight for myself. I fight to achieve. I'm a castle crasher. I fight for my dream. I don't fight for no queen. I don't fight for no king. I don't let stone walls imprison me. Yo, I fight for myself. I fight to achieve. I'm a castle crasher. I fight for my dream. This is dedicated to those who lost, never fought back or stood up to their boss. With the little people who do little things. Don't let people, castles destroy your dream. They act big and bad because they're scared to death. And their biggest weapon is under their breath. Talk about fall guys and people to lean on. The world's not a castle you don't have to feed off. Some people try to be kings and queens and ride on the coattails of somebody's dreams. Don't fall for the game, know you break. Without people like us, the world's an empty space. They wanna tell you what they want, but you gotta achieve. Not just for yourself, but you gotta believe. Run the castle walls and show your strength. Nobody's better know if I am finished. Amen. I don't fight for no queen, I don't fight for no king. I don't let stone walls imprison me. Yo, I fight for myself. I fight to achieve. I'm a castle crasher. I fight for my dream. I don't fight for no queen. I don't fight for no king. I don't let stone walls imprison me. Yo, I fight for myself. I fight to achieve. I'm a castle crasher. I fight for my dream. Everybody that's right there is Castle Crashers. One of my other songs that's going to be on my greatest hits album dropping next year. Thank you, thank you. And the last song right here, I dedicate this to my father, to my girls, my kids, my NSC family. Cheer! Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Who would ever thought or ever see me on the microphone, man? What a dream. I look in my eyes and I'm here. I'm well aware the music getting better, man. Year after year. See, when I started, it's more than a joke. I didn't think it was funny. They just wanted to poke. Tell me about so and so and how they nice with the flow. How much money they made and how they opened up shows. So I just sat in the lab and wrote and told myself, eventually music's gonna change and lead their thoughts. I started out with a bang. From my mans, we was a plan, but we never got out of the land. We turned to a band that just bang over goals. Everybody did their own thing. I stayed with the flow. I lay it down like it's supposed to be. Let the world feel the in the path of NSC. Come on. Yeah. For my kids, I leave this thought. Imagine that your father really the boy. If I stopped helping, did my own thing, how many people will fall if I didn't lend a hand? And if I grabbed my brow and didn't give advice? So when y'all start brewing, I ran away from a fight. What if I lied and stole from everybody I meet? And when the bills come, man, my words wouldn't reach. What if I smoke and drink every day for some strength? And when everybody looking, keep spending the rent. What if I crashed the car, ranked out her cards, and beat on her every time she made me feel wrong? That's the things I think about. Option B, I could have been a lot worse than the man you see. But luckily, my friend's got a good day, and I'ma be that good friend that you can't keep to the end. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Download NSC Gameboy, the app on iTunes, Android. D Dear Dad, I want you to know now I remember you used to yell at me for being a clown. Told me to hold my hand in the big picture. And when I fell down, man, you always my fixer. Pick me up when I'm lost in the sauce. And always took charge when you knew I was harmed. I couldn't believe as the years passed. I had to grow fast. I couldn't see, but I sensed my friend. And this the tale, the tape, a father, son in the game. He owed down the walls while I opened up gates. This is a tag team I thought would never be. Looking halls in the stars, so I stayed in my dream. When I go and look back, I'm a king of my own. I run my own family, now I'm king of the throne. And I know he's happy, looking down on G. I'm in a new tag team, his grandson and me. Amen. I want to thank Evan Ginsberg and his crew, Legends Television, for giving me the opportunity to come on here and perform for all of y'all. Please check out Under the Map Radio. Download NSC Gameboy if you like what you hear. And support that real hip hop, man. We out there. Thank you.